Counselor Donahue? Here. Counselor Ah?
Here.
Counselor Hooper? Here. Counselor Fowle? Here. And Mayor Wall?
Here. And we're here this evening to interview candidates for our judge pro tem. And we have three candidates that we're going to interview, and our first one is Jesse London.
Where should I go?
Well, up there,
Did we create a hot seat, Mr. Mayor?
yeah, that's so hot seat.
Long time I have to sit in the corner, basically. Thank you, I'll take that hot seat. Hello, everybody, thanks for having me, I'm Jesse London.
Welcome, Jesse. So we have a few prepared questions.
And I might scoot a little closer,
I
just,
don't know if it's an advantage going first or not, but I'll ask the questions, and then if there are any follow-up questions, council may ask you as well. We're gonna start by a real difficult one. Why are you interested in being our pro tem judge?
well, I am a pro tem judge in two other cities. I've been doing that for about 10 years or so, in the different cities. My main part of my practice is private practice, but I've been very committed since I started law to do some sort of public service. And both as a municipal prosecutor, which I've been for most of the time that I've been an attorney in private practice, I've also been a municipal prosecutor. And so between the being on the bench and also as a prosecutor, that's been the bulk of what I do is as a public service, community service aspect of my profession. I think every lawyer should do that. And so this is the way that I do it. I also, of course, just naturally have gravitated towards being on the bench. You may see my resume. I clerked for 2 federal judges after I graduated Cornell Law in 2011. And instantly kind of got the bug, I guess is what you might call it, to be on the bench. It's a very interesting job to be an attorney in general in terms of private practice, but mostly you're advocating for people. You're taking a particular position, which, you may very much agree with or not, but essentially you're arguing a certain position. You're not necessarily trying to get it right. And you're in terms of what the law right, or to get the most just outcome, or to, do any other thing like that. Well, the judge's role, of course, is the thing that I love doing the most, because it's the part of my role where I can actually get it right, both in terms of getting the law right, thinking about fairness to the parties, maintaining like ethical standards and building community standards or preserving community standards. And so I've had a lot of success as a pro tem judge in other places. And, I was excited to see, you were asking about having another pro tem judge, and I right away thought, okay, yeah, this is great. Another opportunity to do this thing that I really love and enjoy doing.
Thank you. Briefly describe your judicial philosophy and approach to managing cases while filling in for our regular judge.
Broadly, my judicial philosophy focuses on common sense, broadly. And I'll speak about particular role for pro tem judges. I'm from a very small town in North Carolina called Clayton, North Carolina, where we had just a few thousand people, and the focus of everything there was probably, football on Friday nights. It's a small community. We had 2 police units at the most in that town, and there's a certain way of approach that you learn growing up in that. I've been in Oregon now for more than 20 years, but you still keep that approach. You got cotton, peanuts, and tobacco. It's kind of a rural community where everyone knows everybody. The church on every corner. So So that's broadly shapes my judicial philosophy is applying common sense. And that means that you're also doing that with respect for the party. So that's really important. You have to understand who the participants are, and that's law enforcement. The attorneys, but principally the parties before you. Those people that are before you are citizens of the community. And you have to understand what the community standards are. And you're gonna apply them, not what you want, how you would make the world if it was just you. You're trying to understand what the community expects and deserves. And to make sure that each person that's in front of you, it goes away feeling like that's what's happened for them. Yes, sir, no, sir, they've been treated with respect. They've been given the time to speak when they need to speak. And any penalties or whatever that has been imposed meet what everybody expects it to be. So that's my judicial philosophy, is try to understand it, what it is, and give the people in the community that thing. Now that's a judicial philosophy. I think it means you have to get the law right? You have to study the law and research and know what the best practices are and bring those best practices. I'm on the board of the Oregon Judges Association, used to be called the Oregon Municipal Judges Association. I participated in that for a long time as a pro tem judge. And that's where we discuss these matters of the practical application. We share things with each other. This is what I tried, and this is what worked, and this is what didn't work. What are you doing in your community? Okay, so how should we approach that? Oh, there's this new case. How can we keep the city out of trouble by not doing this thing, right? So you do have to be current and understand the technical aspects, but broadly, you're applying this kind of common sense and respect. Now, particularly with a pro tem judge, and I've done that quite a bit, you're not just kind of starting from your own space and doing whatever you want. You are coming into a court where the other judge has kind of set the parameters and you have the court staff, most important, who are doing the job all the time, right? So you have to, your principal thing that you're doing is learning from the court staff what their procedures are and working with them. So that's what you're doing. So as a pro tem, you're coming in, you're trying to figure out what is already there and basically apply it in pretty much the same way. Of course, you have to do what you think is right in certain situations, but they're very few and far between. So you're essentially mirroring as a pro tem.
Thank you. Okay. Do you expect to continue cases that come before you? And if so, how would you assure that they are seamlessly handled with our full-time judge?
Could you say just the first part of that sentence again?
Do you expect to continue any cases that come before you? And if so, how would you make sure that those cases are seamlessly handled between you and our judge? Okay,
Wait, by continue, you mean, for example, something that may have been set for trial and there's some things that are going on in the middle type of thing? Is that right? Okay, all right, good. Yeah, so obviously you have to start with the background, right, of what happened in the case. So you have to read the parts that the judge is allowed to read in the file, which is just the case history. And you can look at prior hearings. And so as a pro tem, because I've done it for 2 other places, I'm faced with this. So yeah, you're gonna go into the file, you're gonna take a look and see what's there. And the truth of the matter is, whoever the clerk is, you're gonna, ask the clerk in chambers, you're gonna say, what has happened in this file? Where did the judge going with this? What was the thinking here? And the clerks often know the history of this. If it's a repeat person or if it's something like that, they often know the whole history. So as a practical matter, you're going to work with the court staff to look at the file, ask what they know, and try to keep it moving in that same direction. You have to think about scheduling also, for example, right? You don't want to, because you're in control of the schedule as a pro tem, if you're coming in continuing in the middle, you have to see what they were thinking about doing. Like, when's the next court date? Does a judge want it set, way out or way in. So basically, that's the process. To ensure it's smooth, you're looking at the file, really relying on the court staff and anything else that you can find to make sure that you're not kind of going in a crazy direction from where the judge was gone.
This one's kind of related. So our judge often continues cases to the next court session. What steps would you take to ensure that those cases are duly processed?
So you're saying, if to avoid the pro tem, my understanding of that question is to avoid the pro tem coming in on a continued case and simply just continuing it to the next date? Is that the idea?
Well, the first
Please.
question was, do you typically continue cases or do you try to handle them there so that the regular judge isn't picking up? And then the second part you answered with the first question, what do you do if a case is continued into your session?
Oh, okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much for clarifying that. Yeah, I deal with the docket in front of me. I don't just continue a case because it's in front of me. I've been doing it long enough that I feel very confident that whatever needs to be done on the day, I can do it. I don't need to kick it to the next date to be handled by the judge, unless it's very clearly something that the court staff, the clerk tells me, yeah, this is something that, the judge would probably want to handle on their own. They have like a very specific thing in mind for this particular case. Otherwise, I mean, as far as criminal matters, I've been a prosecutor forever. I've been a pro tem for a long time. Whatever it is that I need to do with the thing in front of me, I can get it done. And that's what I do when I'm on the bench. I try to process through whatever, we got traffic now. I'm mostly in courts one court that doesn't have criminal matters and one that does. So one in violations and one has criminal matters and previously had a jail. So, whatever comes in front of me, whether it's, trial, I can do a trial, no problem, traffic docket, whatever. I would just try to handle it because my job is not to just push it off to the next date. My job is to actually, do the work and hear.
Thank you. Counsel, any follow-ups at all?
I only have one because I didn't see it in the verbiage here, but what is your fee?
Typically, what I said in my letter, typically what I've always done is typically the municipal judge has actually been paid for the date. And then the municipal judge has typically paid me. So it's been that relationship is the one that I'm in the two other jurisdictions. So I just get paid whatever they get paid. So, I mean, I would not obviously ask for anything different or more than what they got paid in any way, so.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Okay, that all you need from me?
That's it for now.
Should I hang out or get going?
You can, it's up to you.
Okay, I'll just hang out.
Our next is Lucy Eel, is it Isle?
I'll answer to Heal, Heil, or any version thereof. It's technically Heil, but I'm called Heal and other things as well. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to be here. And I'm all of a sudden really nervous. Should I sit? Okay.
Okay. We're gonna ask you the same question, so. Why are you interested in being the pro tem judge here?
I am a member currently of the Oregon Judges Association. I received the recruitment notice from Juliet Britton, the president. And quite frankly, we receive a lot of emails and notices, and I have not responded to others, but this spoke to me in a different way. I think it goes back to why I became a lawyer to begin with. My mom grew up in a small town, Weston, Missouri, and that's where I was married. That's where I used to watch trials before I went to law school. My uncle was kind of my mentor. He died last year, but he was a prosecutor and then he was a circuit court judge. This feels like that kind of community to me, and I was also interested because I used to travel through here when I was going to Silverton. I'm a knitter, and so I would go to the knitting store in Silverton, and I'd gone through Mount Angel many times. I work in one of the municipalities where I work with one of the law enforcement officers who previously worked for Mount Angel, and so I have a very positive view of Mount Angel and a good feel about it. It just felt right. I know that sounds kind of woo-woo or woo-woo, but it felt right. I don't pretend to know everything that I'm doing at all, but I've been doing municipal judge job regularly for the last 3+ years now in Molalla. And I feel like there's similarities with our communities, not that they're the same, but I hope if I am considered for this, that my experience there and the time and care would cross over, would translate into being able to help folks in the community here. I'm deeply caring, empathetic. I've mostly worked as a prosecutor back way back when I was younger and starting out. They threw me into prosecuting child sex abuse cases, and that kind of ripped my heart out and got to me. So now, later, if you will, in my career, I feel like I have more of the ability, this is a long answer, more of the ability to focus on what I care about and to apply the experience I've gained throughout the years from prosecution and criminal defense, and hopefully marry those, if you will, into being able to be the best judge I can. And I have a little more confidence now that I've not a lot, I'm not overly confident, but more confidence in my ability to do the job, hopefully, and do it well. And so for all of those reasons, I was interested in applying. I've done some pro tem work a little bit in addition to my regular municipal judge responsibilities, and thought that I could potentially be of help and maybe a good fit for this community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so please briefly describe your judicial philosophy and approach to managing cases while filling in.
Yes. My philosophy is, more than anything, to try and be fair and honest. And when I'm at my best, I'm an excellent communicator and listener. So I feel like, based on the experience I've had and trials and cases and being in a lot of different courtrooms for more than 20 years, what stands out the most to me is that people want to be heard, right? Whether we're defendants or victims, whether we're witnesses, most of us want to be heard. And I know that to be a strength of mine. I am an excellent listener. And so my philosophy is to try and listen to people, and whether it's a traffic matter or a code enforcement matter, whatever it is, people deserve to be heard. And so my philosophy is to be fair and thorough and an effective communicator, and hopefully an amazing listener if I'm at my best, and try to listen to all sides and make the best decision based on the most information I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do you expect to continue cases that come before you? And if so, how would you make sure those cases are handed from you to our regular judge?
I like to get things done, so I don't view the role of pro tem judge as one where it's just setting cases over to dump them, if you will, back in the hands or lap of the regular judge. So the way I would go about that is to effectively communicate with the judge. Right, if I was asked to, if I was chosen as pro tem, of course, and then asked to fill that role for a certain month, then what I've done in the past and what I would expect to do is communicate with the judge about what cases are on the docket, what those look like. Basically have that conversation and be prepared to the extent I'm able to be prepared. And if I've done everything I can to be prepared and communicated effectively, I don't see, or at least in my experience, there hasn't been a great need to set over cases unless there's something out of the ordinary or quite frankly beyond my control. But I don't view the role of pro tem to just be a set over person. Because I don't think that's getting stuff done. If it makes sense for some reason, as I said, to set it over, then I would be open to listening to that. But in general, no, I would not expect us to continue cases over. Did I answer the second part of that question, though?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the follow-up is close. So our judge does continue cases to the next session. What steps would you take to ensure that those cases are processed properly?
I think it goes back to preparation. I would know what I was going into. So it's been my experience that preparation, right, looking at what's coming up allows me to be ready to hopefully resolve it, or at least to research the law, the applicable laws, statutes, et cetera. So I'm not getting to court, realizing there's something I need to research and then needing to continue it because I haven't looked ahead. So if I've done my homework, I will be ready to resolve it and prepared to resolve it if that's where we are, if that's what the parties, if that's what it lends itself to, in the interest of efficiency. Yes, I like to be thorough, but I also like to be efficient. Yes, so there's a balance there.
Thank you. Council, any follow-up? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next is. Yeah. Patrick.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
How do we pronounce your last name?
Mercurio, like the Shakespearean character.
We probably would have got close, so,
Yeah, I think you did.
okay, so anyway, we're gonna do the same 4 questions with you, Patrick, and start out, why are you interested in this pro tem position?
Well, why I like to be a judge is that because you wake up in the morning and your job is to do the right thing and be somebody who does a service for the community. And that's why I continue to be a judge. It is my vocation. It is my craft. I currently am still an administrative law judge for the city of New York. Had that job for 18 years and I do it remotely a few days a week, earlier in the week. I'm also pro tem in Kaiser and Jervis. I just had a long trial in Jervis last month, six-hour trial. Yeah. That is why I like being a judge, is because I get to apply the law. It's cerebral there, but you're also servicing the people and the community. And I think that that's the job of a judge as a public servant.
Thank you. Briefly describe your judicial philosophy and approach to managing cases while filling in.
That's 2 questions. So let me answer the first one. The judicial philosophy is to try to do the right thing, try to do justice within the confines of the law. And sometimes you have to get a little ingenuity in there, or stretch things one way or the other for a good result. For both the person who's appearing before you, whether it's diversion or somebody who just won't get a license, or it's for somebody who just got snagged in a registration or an insurance and they're really struggling. So my philosophy is to try to do the right thing by both the community and the person who's appearing before me. And you're confined by the law. You can't do anything you want, but you can get smart about it. And the second question was managing my caseload. Well, that's, you do the work until it's done. However many cases are there. Try not to spend too much time on one particular case, but if somebody wants to talk, like my job with the city, New York City, I let people go off. I let them say the same thing 3 times. When it gets to the 3rd time and it's a complaint, whether it's sanitation or the fire department or NYPD, I let them sound off. That's what I'm there for. I'm gonna end up making the decision, maybe they don't like, finding them in violation, but I'll give them their day report. And oftentimes, it is the only time these people will have any connection to the justice system. I mean, these aren't hardened criminals. Probably everybody that appears at Mount Angel Court, 90% of them, this is their only connection to the justice system. And so you got to understand that and treat them with kindness.
Thank you. Okay. And do you expect to continue cases that come before you?
Yeah, I've sort of heard that question with the others. Continue is a legal, it's a legal phrase. It usually means a trial has begun. And now you're in the middle of the trial and you can't finish it that evening. So you continue it. That's a legal term of art. But I think you also mean set over cases. Would that be correct? Adjourn them or set over the arraignment to another day. Is that correct?
Yeah, so typically, she'll give a client a chance to
Mhm.
give them more time to get their paperwork or try to go get their license. She continued.
Yeah, I know what Judge Kugelis does. Yeah, those are called set over. So let me answer that in 2 parts. I don't continue trials. We're gonna get it done, even if it's midnight. I've done it before. I've done it as a prosecutor. I was also a federal prosecutor in DC for the United States Department of Justice, also a federal law clerk. You get the work done that day. They don't want to come back in the middle of a trial. If I had to, I can't imagine that would happen, but I would just come back on the next day and finish up the trial. Whatever is good for everybody else, I will come back and finish it. As far as set overs, I'm not afraid to set cases over if the right result will happen. If I had a case in Kaiser just the other day, 2 kids on mini bikes. That's a big problem now, these young people, 15 and 16. So I did something a little unique, which the presiding judge kind of furrowed his brow a little bit. I made them take the motorcycle class, the one you have to get your license, because I don't think they're gonna stop riding. I want this 15-year-old and the 16-year-old to learn how to ride. One of the mothers wasn't very happy about my ingenious little plan, but they both did it. One needed additional time to write the essay, a 500-word essay. Case had to be, God, it's over a year old now. But the right result will happen in the end. And they could have just paid the fine. The parents would have paid it. I made it seem that the fine was going to be just in some intractable number because there's a maximum there. I never would have imposed that. But I wanted to put the fear of God in them. You're going to do this. You're going to finish the class. You're going to write that essay. And maybe you'll learn how to ride a motorcycle. And you won't kill yourself or someone else. So some cases have to be set over. I've had former incarcerated folks come in and they're trying. If you pay $10, you show me you're trying, I'll set it over again. They don't know that when I get to a certain point, I'm just gonna lop the fine in half. Or maybe take the rest off. You're done, you did your job, you tried. It's the people who don't show up or people who flout the law. They're the ones that are very difficult to deal with. And I'll just give them a high fine and go away. You're not gonna change. But you can get some compliance from people and you can treat them with kindness. I think that's the role of a municipal judge. And I'm not from a small town. I'm from a big city, the Bronx in New York. But I think some of those ideas that I have here would work in smaller municipalities.
Thank you. You're not a Yankee fan, are you?
We can discuss sports after,
Just said,
at one of the bars over here.
he said, I didn't wear my Red Sox hat tonight, but anyway. Okay, so our judge will continue cases to the next session. What steps would you take to see that those are processed?
Right, so I know Judge Kukelis very well. She is the one who suggested that I apply for this. And I've done her cases in Jervis. She takes good notes. I'm not gonna change it. If what she wrote is what has to happen, then that's what I'm expecting to see. I'm not gonna come up with any unique ideas on what to do that's outside of the box that she has drawn, which she has drawn over 10 years with the clerks. I'm not gonna just waltz in here and start changing things because I think it's the right thing. Unless it's something like shocked my conscience, like dismiss this ticket against the mayor. You know what, Lori, you're gonna do that. I'm not gonna be the fall guy on this.
Well, this mayor doesn't get.
Of course he doesn't.
Okay. Great, thank you very much.
Okay, oh, I'm also the treasurer of the OJA, what everyone was talking about earlier.
Okay.
I'm a CPA as well. I don't know if that is
Just
useful.
got to ask, does anybody have any follow-up at all? Council? No?
I have one. So you listed the three cities. Are you the pro temp judge?
Yes.
there Or
Yes,
the main judge?
yes, I'm not the presiding judge anywhere yet.
Okay,
I hope to be. I just got here a few years ago, so you don't just go into a place, buy a house, get married, and say, put a robe on me. This is gonna take some time, but I hope to prove myself in these pro tem jobs where somebody will give me a chance and want me as their person, as their presiding judge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. So that concludes the interviews, and so we're going to adjourn our work session. And anybody need a few minute break? No? Okay. I'm going to.
Sure, we got some shares.
Thank you all.
thank you. Thank you.
Let us down.
Nice meeting you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. You have a good night, too. All right.
Okay. I'm going to call the regular meeting to order. And please join me in the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do another roll call.
Counselor Eater,
Here.
Counselor Astorga. Here. Counselor Donahue. Here. Counselor Hawk.
Here.
Counselor Hooper.
Here.
Counselor Powell.
Here.
And Mayor Wall.
Here. Okay. Next item is presentation guests. Any? Colby?
Let's see. I do not have anybody that asked to present.
Okay. The next is appearance of interested citizens? No?
that I'm aware of, unless somebody in the audience would like to speak.
Aaron, did you?
I have a time hearing, you asking for the.
Right now, we're asking if anybody would like to speak to council from the.
Yes, okay, good.
Yes. You would?
Yes, so my name is Dennis Meisner, been living in Mount Angel for about 40 years now. I was growing up here and I lived away for a while and I moved back. And I live up on North Pershing. My concern is we get speeders going up and down our street. And there seems to be no way to mitigate that at this point. And happens quite often. That, and there's also trucks, construction trucks, once in a while go up and there's not supposed to be any trucks on that street. And I talked to Charlie about it, Charlie Hall. He did put one of those speed sensor things, the trailer thing, for a few days, but where he had it at was when it starts registering speed, it's like when they're almost to the stop sign. And so they're already slowing down. And you know, there's schools gonna be starting up, there's gonna be a lot of kids on the street, it's really a concern, so. I know I talked to City Hall a few times about this, but I wanted to make it official and so it's documented. So I don't know how we can resolve it, speed bumps or more patrols or whatever.
Thank you.
Any questions or
No, sir.
any plans or?
Well, I know that you're upset about the speed trailer being gone.
I'm sorry?
Like I said, I know you're upset about the speed trailer being gone.
Well, no,
In the place,
somebody told me it went to someplace else that it's coming back.
it's coming back
Yeah.
and, you know, we can only do what we can do. And,
Right,
we will be putting together a plan and working on it.
yeah, I did download a speed sensor to my iPhone, I sat out there one night and several cars were doing 46 miles an hour going down the street, I just used quite a few. 45.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Dennis.
thanks.
Okay.
I know a property owner that'll let you put a trailer in front of us.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of places I can. Well, we put together a plan, it's just. Gonna be time. And it's not the only street in town, it's just you hear from citizens that wants to do.
Across the street, before we go down the house, yeah.
Okay, our next item is review correspondence.
Yeah, I had actually emailed asking if I could present. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry, I thought there was two people.
oh, okay, excuse me.
Okay, perfect.
Mine's super simple. The city of Salem has a targeted grazing program or statute written already. Right now, as far as I know, we can only have 6 hens within city limit. I know there's other animals that are within city limit that are considered livestock. That's not what I'm talking about. We do have a lot of areas that have briars and brush that are excessive within city limits. My neighbor passed away in November and she maintained her property very well. Unfortunately, her family hasn't been able to, so we've been maintaining her corner lot. But the backyard has become a jungle of briar. So our house my kids' house in Salem, when we moved in, they had a briar issue. Salem has an amazing targeted goat grazing program or statute already written. I have copies right here if you guys want to see it. Basically, you can have goats within city limits for 21 days. Then there has to be a 30-day gap, and then that can only happen 3 times in a calendar year. I think that that's better than spraying Roundup constantly over her fence. I don't really want to do that. Their family said that if this was an option, that would be great. There's also some other properties around near, just right up the street that have a very large field full of briars that this would work very well for. My suggestion, if it's something that we would consider, is we don't have a ram. I don't think rams should be within city limits because they smell terrible. And then I think we should limit it. Salem, as far as I can tell, doesn't have a limit on them. I would say 6 to 10 is a reasonable number for a small goat herd being able to control briars. That's all.
So you're Aaron, correct?
I'm Aaron, yes.
So we were just about to deal
Oh, okay,
with
perfect.
your letter, so,
Perfect,
so we have your letter in our packet.
okay.
And so, thank you.
That's literally in the letter is the copy of this.
Okay, all right,
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
So you're right on time.
perfect, yeah, perfect.
So, council, any comments about this issue or thoughts or?
What do we do if we want to enact something?
Well, then, I think council needs to direct staff to, or direct me to have staff bring back a proposal of what, a potential ordinance would look like and, how we would apply it.
Well, I think before enacting an ordinance, I'd like to know if there's a way to administer a pilot program. Something where we could say, based on X, Y, and Z, we would be willing to give it a 21-day shot. See what the improvements and ramifications were prior to any precedent-setting move by the council. No ramifications.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, we just said no rams.
You thinking like on a per property basis?
Well, like,
You
literally,
want
like.
to, try it to see if. it
Yeah, like
works.
literally, like say, one time we'll let it go. As a pilot program,
You got your pilots, I have 10 sheep, pygmy dwarf goats, and they're just little guys, cute little guys. I have electric netting, I have everything for that program, including the property's approval to administer that program. I would
That's-
volunteer.
and so. But before we just. Said this is gonna be the ordinance, but I don't know how to do that.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, our current code does not allow goats, correct?
That's correct.
So,
Oh, so we would have to do something,
so,
and then we'd have to undo it if
so
we didn't like.
we'd be violating our own ordinance to allow
We'd
them
have to write an
to.
addendum,
Pardon?
we'd have to amend the code,
Yeah,
an addendum,
Or-
basically, or an MOU.
Or
Make the trial.
I could do a variance.
Yeah.
They could do a variance to the code. For a trial period.
You should ask one of those attorneys what would they do?
Yeah, hey, that should have been.
Should have been a question.
This is what we wanna do.
Bring in a-
I've done variances on other codes to allow for nighttime construction for to do with noise. I don't see that there's any reason not to do a variance, because I think that's within my purview as city manager. And as your code enforcement officer, be able to do that. Especially if council is in consensus that we should move ahead and at least give it a shot and see what happens. Remember that this is not a city program. This would just be an ordinance which allowed a program to occur within the city. So the city does not have the means currently to maintain a goat herd and or fencing or everything that goes along with it. There are private contractors out there that provide this service. Mr. Peden can speak to that, I presume. But since you apparently have the ability to form a herd that perhaps Mr. Peden and I, we've known each other for quite a while, we can figure this out.
The only thing I would say is, I know you don't want to use chemicals, but the goats can eat, they go away, you know what happens, the briars come back.
No, so my suggestion is targeted chemicals. I don't want to spray over the top of the fence and kill everything that's back there because you got amazing plants back there. However, once it is down, it does need to be targeted spray because the briars will be back.
You just don't want this massive
Exactly.
foliage sprayed, you want to get down and then spray it. And Roundup will not touch those.
Right.
Crossbow.
Yep.
Yeah. But
What'd you say?
also targeted spray would-
Crossbow what?
Crossbow the end of October, or at the beginning of October.
Thank you.
Beginning of October. I also have a couple neighbors that.
Yeah.
But council, I can work with Mr. Peden to make this happen.
So if you were so instructed to. Create a variance for the next 30 days and that we could reconvene and discuss it at the next meeting.
I will work with Mr. Peden to see what we can do.
So do we need to vote on it
Do you
now?
need a, or do we need a motion?
I don't think, I mean,
You direct staff.
And,
I think they've been directed.
yeah,
That's all I need, I think consensus of council.
we do want,
That you want us to try, and then we'll put together a staff report at the conclusion.
and we would want to follow up to see if it worked and maybe we would want to change the code.
And we can examine what's going on in Salem as well.
So if we want to observe this, where are we talking at in town?
What?
What address or what street?
115, it's Guyverson's old house, Guyverson.
Oh, you said Guyverson's?
Yeah. it's
Okay, okay.
Old house, it was Ruth she sold her farm and she bought it, she passed away in November. Her daughter's on dialysis, I will document everything, I'll take pictures before, after, I can do daily or bi-daily pictures or whatever. Because I wanna see something work also, I know that there's TV shows about this where guys, there's YouTube channels that guys bring in 80 goats and they annihilate a yard the size of David's, in 24 hours. But I think it's a good program, I think it's something that I don't like adopting a lot of big city programs, but I think this one makes sense for us.
Okay, then I think we have a consensus to give it a shot, come back and tell us how it worked.
Would it be preferred if 21 days were completed prior to Oktoberfest due to? Sorry.
Well, I'm not gonna put any days on this.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure, because there's a lot of balls in the air and everything else, but, I'm confident that Aaron and I can work together. So,
Okay.
We'll make it happen.
Okay. Okay, next item is quarterly department reports. They're in your packet. Ask council if they have any questions, and we'll start with council president.
I do not.
Councilor Ott,
I do not.
Councilor Donahue.
Give me a second. I had something, Karen, what it was. I got it over down.
Okay,
Move on.
Councilor Storga,
None.
Councilor Fowl,
Good.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, sorry, I did see one of my notes. The pump at the wastewater plant, the one that was fixed and then is that the one that broke again? That you had, Stellar or whoever it was come out, fix it,
Was it,
or replace the pump, right?
was it the wastewater plant or well?
Yeah, wastewater plant, yeah.
Yeah, we've replaced 3 of them out there. And one did break again. It was a connection done. And then it shorts that.
So was that covered by the pump manufacturer? No?
Well, we're fixing the problem. That was our issue.
Right.
Councilor Hopper,
I don't have anything.
I have nothing. Next item is,
I think he's still trying to find something.
oh,
Let's go.
Okay.
okay,
It's not been that important. Normally a pretty quick.
if you find it, you can bring it up under council report. Okay, we're gonna move on to agenda item 8, review accounts payable. And I'll start with Councilor Hofer. Okay. Councilor Fox,
What is a SCADA installation and PLC at wastewater treatment plant?
SCADA and telemetry.
Yeah,
So
that
that's,
thing.
yeah, so we replaced all the old telemetry, which was dinosaur, and we put in new flow meters and new PLC, which the PLC runs the
Programming logic controller.
Thank you. Yeah. And the SCADA system is what you see on the screen.
So basically updated all the controls and the graphic user interface and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all.
And so that's something, okay, and it's something we don't plan on doing again for
new. I mean,
a while.
no, we might add to it. There's other stuff we can upgrade up there, but No, it's all modernized and. Right.
So does it still use the old radio or is it dial-up now? Does it dial out to your pager or radio you?
It's dial-up.
It's dial-up, okay.
Okay, it was just a $32,000 bill I didn't understand, so thank you.
Okay, Councilor Storga?
I think this one might be for Tara, the Safe Corporation one. There's like multiple estimates and workers' comp stuff. So what's what are those on entail? That's on packet page 29, sorry.
Thank you. And it's mine sideways. I haven't switched it yet. So yes, so basically we allocate each department's estimates to their payroll department. So
Oh, yeah, because I didn't see the actual, like, it says employee benefits, but it didn't say like P-Dub.
right,
PD,
right.
So I thought it
Because
was,
it's all in the code that we
Right.
like have memorized. And so, yeah, so the
oh, that one number changed. I saw the last four. I was thinking.
yeah,
or the five,
so the
yeah.
02 is police, 05 is library, 08 is city hall, 09 is public works, and then
Okay,
26 is specifically to the wastewater.
right, okay, thank you. I was wondering, I was like, what is
That's a-
going on?
It's
It's like,
perfectly good question.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that was the only question I had. Thank you.
Councilor Donahue?
Oh, nothing.
Councilor Hart?
I had the same question Tony did. I was like, oh, Safe, what is all of this and how does that break down into the little numbers I didn't understand, so yeah. Thank you.
Council President?
I'm good.
Okay, I do have one. And I think I asked this last year. So at least I'm consistent, but, where is it? Oh. Okay, so there's a bill to Civic Plus for social media archive, and as I recall, I asked about this last year. But, and it was public records law that we have to archive them.
Right, so there's another very manual way to do it, and that is to take a print or a screenshot and print it or save it separately. So every time I posted something, I have to print it, save it. Every time somebody commented on it, I have to print it and save it. So this company instead does all that in the background. And if anybody ever requests a public record, we just reach out to them, they can do all the work and provide the records.
Okay, so that is what I understood. So it seems like we don't have a lot of traffic on social media compared to, that just seems like a heck of a lot of money to archive. Are there any alternatives from other companies or?
I haven't looked, but I think they're one of very few, and that's, I think, why they can charge so much. Is because I don't know of anybody else doing.
Okay,
But I can look again.
yeah, maybe the league has some ideas too. You might, yeah, I mean, they do a lot of work and they're a large company in Kansas. But it just seems like a heck of a lot of money to archive some records, but anyway, that's all I have. Okay, next we'll move on to consent agenda. Approve city council meeting minutes of July 1st, 2024. Questions or corrections from council? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the second doing that.
Second.
And
I think we should remove Ray's clarification that he was joking for running for mayor.
Is that a misprint?
I think we should remove that clarification.
does that make you nervous?
I'm good.
Okay, so we have a motion by Council Hofer, second by Councilor Storga to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Counselor Fowl,
Aye.
Counselor Ears,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue,
Aye.
Counselor Hopps,
Aye.
Mayor Wall.
I was not at that meeting, but I did watch it. I guess I need a life, but anyway, so I'll vote yes. I had to check on the council president to see if he,
I flunked.
yeah, you did pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Good training. Okay. Our next item is unfinished business. Remove the homestay lodging program ordinance 777, and this is our second reading on that. And this is ordinance number 778. And it's not either. Ordinance number 777. An ordinance relating to homestay regulations, removing chapter 119 from the Mount Angel Municipal Code. And we have considered this in the past. Are there any questions of council on this item? Anything, any updates?
No updates.
Manager? No updates?
The staff recommends moving ahead with our recommendation.
I don't see any questions.
Can we weather the financial impact that we're gonna take a hit?
I don't know, we can pick up a collection. Okay,
I'll move to hold a second reading of ordinance 777.
A
Okay.
second.
motion by Councilor Fowl, second by Councilor Ott for second reading of ordinance number 777. Roll call, please.
Counselor Ott,
Aye.
Counselor Fowl,
Aye.
Counselor Ears,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue,
Aye.
Mayor Wall.
Aye. Okay. Our next item is item 10B, hire a pro tem judge. And we had interviews of 3 judges and we have a couple of motions, make an appointment now or table it until a September meeting. So I'll open that for discussion of council. Have we done any background reference checking or anything?
We did a cursory search on the Oregon State Bar website for any disciplinary actions, because that's public records.
Yep.
None of these had any disciplinary actions. We started a public records request for any complaints. And there's like a $13 fee plus, how long did they say they would get? It was gonna take 30 to 60 days.
30 to 60.
Yeah, to get the information to us. I was like, okay, that's gonna take long, like, this is happening like sooner. So if you wanna wait for that to see if there's any complaints, I can move forward with that.
I don't. If they're all members in good standing, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna reveal much. The other thing we could do is just reach out to the courts, like they're all current pro tems. And we could get references or feedback. I don't know if that would be any advantage to that. I have no idea.
If we choose one, how long is that? Are they under any kind of contract or anything?
We would create a contract for probably 2-year period with options to renew. I don't think our judge is under contract. It's an intergovernmental agreement, which is probably what we'd end up doing, because there are ones at Malala, ones at Kaiser and Jervis, so we probably end up with an intergovernmental agreement. Which says that they don't have conflicts of interest between the two.
Well, I'll make a comment. I don't know why anyone would want to drive from Portland or Eugene to do the job for that amount of money, but then the other flip side, Lucy lives where Canby, that area anyway, but her fee is way up here.
I think they're making a drive because they wanna,
They love Mount Angel.
no, I mean, it's
They
just
want the
experience, put it on the resume that I've been doing this and see, try and case, I mean, I think it's just,
It's just like anything else, you wanna put in your time as it's like an internship per se, but you still get a little stipend.
Well, and, we have a certain amount that our municipal judge gets, so, they would receive the equal amount, and her pay is $325 per court session. So we felt that the attorney that represented herself from, Canby was the closest, probably knew the community, probably understands them better. And you decide to offer her that position, then she would know that that position is being, every time she would be selected to come here or asked to come, then she would receive $325 as opposed to a higher fee.
So that's not a non-negotiable, is what you're saying?
Well, I think that a pro tem should get the same amount as our regular judge. And if they don't want if they don't want to be paid $325 for being here for about an hour, maybe 2 at the most. Then I guess they can find somewhere else, and you can go on and look at somebody else.
How often have we used the pro tem?
Never.
That's what I thought.
I don't know that Lori understood that we had a pro tem,
Oh,
but when she got very excited when we started talking about this. So it sounds like she would be more than willing to schedule a pro tem, which we've never done before.
okay.
Then she wouldn't have to rely on herself for every court.
Right, right, and we wouldn't have to move our court dates, so currently oftentimes if she's unavailable or she's at the judges conference or whatever, we move our court date to accommodate that, and so with the pro tem, we probably would just stick to our regular schedule.
I want to solicit some feedback from our chief of police. You listened in on all of them. Is there one that you feel best aligns with the way you choose to police in town?
Yeah, I listened to all 3 of them, and, I know people in New York City, and I know the philosophy and the way of life there, and the fact that this is God's country and you might want to move out here, but I'm not really enamored with that, what I heard. The gentleman from the Carolinas, I think he got a little lost on some of the questioning. So that caused me to step back just a little bit. I'm not sure quite that he's really into it here, but the gal from Canby, kind of showed me a couple of things. One, she was nervous to come before you guys, and she definitely wanted to be here. And she gave it her best effort. And oftentimes I think when people are nervous and they come before a body like this, they are coming at it wanting to impress, wanting to make sure that that they are going to do the best job that they can. For her, of course, with her prosecutorial work and experience that she has on her resume, I was good with that, but I'm also not concerned about her being fair. Lori Cruz is a very, very fair judge, and certainly not heavy-handed. And I think that if we were to say, hey, Lucy, we would like for you to be our pro tem judge, I'm sure that there's going to be some communication between our municipal judge now and her, just to make sure that there is consistency within the court. And I think it could be very healthy, especially bringing in somebody from the outside that we really have had no access to because we haven't had one. So I think that's a good opportunity for a little growth for our community, but also for the Lord and our court.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if we did offer her the job, she would get no more than what Lori said.
It says right here, that the pro tem will receive equal pay as Judge Kukulis. $5 for court session. I fully support that.
And did she know that?
I don't know, I had a conversation with her. Obviously, she came in late, so I didn't get a chance to, introduce myself to her.
No, but we can offer it as part of the offer. And see if she takes it. Do you guys have, like, if that's your number one, who would be your number two if she refuses for that pay?
I'd say probably the first person,
Jesse?
Yeah.
just based on his focus of adhering to the laws.
Okay,
I could go the other way. I could go with Patrick. He might be a talker, but I don't know. That's just me.
You seem like a straight shooter.
Huh?
Seem like a straight shooter, so there's no.
Who, Patrick? Why don't we cross that bridge when we get to it?
You tell me.
I
Or,
mean, it's not like we need a judge tomorrow.
no,
We don't, but if you, would make the motion to appoint whoever you choose to appoint, then we will move on from there. And, then have a discussion with her or him, and we'll move forward. And if it doesn't work out, then we will come back to you and say that didn't work out. Who's your second choice? But since we have had no judge pro tem this far for as long as I've been,
it's not gonna kill us.
there's no real pressure, so, just a good thing moving forward.
Might be a year and a half before we get our first court case, we're there to figure it out.
Well, if Lori was as excited as Tara said about the possibility of having a pro tem, she might be really excited about not having to come here at some point, and she is under the gun. On the Wednesdays that we have court, she's coming from municipal court in Silverton. And sometimes it takes a long time and they get through the docket pretty late. So she has been here quite late at times. So she may choose to say, well, I'm gonna be in Silverton, can you get a pro tem? So, and I haven't talked to Lori about this, but if she's excited about it, then I think that's kind of a good sign.
Okay,
I will make you want a motion?
I would like a motion if you're ready.
I will move to appoint Lucy Heil as municipal judge pro tem for the city of Mount Angel.
Second.
Okay, Joe won. Okay, have a motion by Counselor. What's your name? Eder, and a second by Counselor Fobb to appoint Lucy Heil as municipal judge pro tem. Roll call, please.
Counselor Donahue? Aye. Counselor Ott?
Hi.
Counselor Fab?
Aye.
Counselor Eder?
Aye.
Counselor Helper?
Aye.
Counselor Astoria?
Aye.
Mayor Wall?
Aye. Good. One of our 3 employees. Okay, the next item is ordinance number 778. Increasing spending limits, and I'll turn that over to our city manager.
Increasing spending limits. Okay, I'm not sure, I think I misheard you. So I think I heard speeding, sorry.
You got court on the brain.
I do. Thank you, thanks for having me back. So we've talked about spending limits for the city manager and department head for a number of different times. So staff brings before you an ordinance, chapter 35 requires that the contract review board, city council to authorize city manager to sign Contracts currently over $50,000. With the rising cost of material services and construction, this leads to more contracts being presented at council meetings for authorization. It was mentioned in a previous meeting about increasing the spending authority for the city manager and reduce the burden on the contract review board / city council. The attached amendment was drafted by our attorneys with a city manager limit of $100,000. It ties to the upper threshold for Division 48A/E, direct appointments, and Division 49, public improvement immediate procurements. Department head limits ties to the direct appointment. Upper threshold for both Division 47, goods and services, and Division 49, public improvement contracts. Other cities have the city manager threshold up as high as $250,000. All contracts, amendments, and requested changes are either drafted or reviewed by our attorneys, no matter what, before they are signed. It is staff's recommendation to review the attached ordinance and conduct a first reading. If the changes are acceptable, if not, perhaps suggest differing amounts or provisions that staff would take back to our attorneys. Any questions?
No, I better read it. I'll read the title. This is ordinance number 778. An ordinance amending city manager and department head spending limits established in Mount Angel Municipal Code, Chapter 35. I will now open any questions or discussion by council.
Yeah, it says for the department heads, it gives them up to $25,000 without your consent. So what is that gonna entail?
It's a great question. It doesn't happen very often.
I was just gonna ask, is that,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously for like the pump or whatever at the wastewater plant.
Yeah. As it is, I tend to delegate authority to the department heads after we have a conversation. They don't necessarily need me to sign a contract or an agreement. But it's something that we do collectively and we do discuss. We make sure that it's the right thing to do, and it's legal. So I have delegated that authority previously, but this gives them that 25,000, so I don't need to necessarily delegate that authority. You've already done that.
Council, any other questions? I have a few things, but. No? Okay. So, has this been a problem, our spending limit, other than the one emergency that we had?
No, because we haven't had that many issues come up.
Okay.
I mean, unless council is, tired of smaller projects coming before you.
Yeah. So I have an issue with this and I'll tell you, try to explain why. I have complete confidence in our current staff to do this with no issues at all. We have had a couple of city managers who I have to say I would not have confidence in. Not even what we have now sometimes. So I'm hesitant to do this for forever and ever. I think it would be very cumbersome to, take it back and forth depending on who we have as city manager. So if we do this, we're stuck with it. And I since it's not been a problem, and the one emergency we had, I thought was handled perfectly when the city manager declared an emergency and then informed council. I just, I'm personally reluctant to do carte blanche for every city manager. I'm just saying, and believe me, I've been a city manager. I've always wanted higher spending limits, so it's not, but I also always acted ethically, as does our current staff, but, when I first moved to town, we had a city manager who I probably wouldn't have trusted with 5,000, but anyway, so I'm reluctant to carte blanche this.
What's our public notice requirement to be able to, if something were to come up and say, hey, this. We got 3 weeks and it's just too long, we need to have a special session, what's our public notice requirement?
24 hours.
24 hours, so. If there's something that we can't get together in 48 hours to address. Probably an actual emergency, is it declared the emergency to take care of it, right?
Hopefully,
Hopefully, okay.
you know, barring any true big time emergency.
I was gonna say, in larger emergencies. I'm trying to remember how we did it, but like if the county declares something an emergency. We all can,
The snowstorm.
yeah, you know, once it's declared at a higher level. That there's a trickle down effect, right?
There can be, yes.
There can be, okay. But yeah, cause I know we talked about this a couple months ago. And when I suggested it. At the time when you said it, it hadn't become an issue quite yet, and so that's why that was gonna be the question after Pete is it suddenly becoming more of an issue, or is this just in reference to that?
Do you mind if I speak?
No, please do.
There is a little bit of a contradictory in our current statute where he has signing authority at $50,000, but contracts of 30,000 have to come before you. So at least let's get that figured out to where, like, if he has signing authority, so if you see number 1, under A1. If you read just the black, it says. The city manager is authorized to enter into city contracts not to exceed 50,000. Okay, go to bullet point 2, recommend that the city council approve or disapprove contract awards of 30,000. So there's a little bit of cleanup to do, even if you don't like these numbers. Because if he can sign 50, why do you have to approve the contract at 30?
That does make sense.
Yeah, so I think we could do some cleanup here, even if you don't like the numbers.
So if we weren't gonna go doubling the signing authority, we would wanna potentially next month look at something that
Clean that
had
up,
at least
yeah.
that in it. And then the other question is for department heads. Does that number need to move some? If we're not taking, like, if most everything's under 50, hasn't been an issue, because we're talking about 3 different thresholds.
Yeah.
Signing authority, council approval, and department head signing authority. Okay, we talked about the first one, we're on the second one, now the third one. Do you need to allow them higher signing authority because too much stuff has to come through your desk?
Not necessarily for that reason, no.
Okay. But you know, instead of maybe jumping from 5 to 25, maybe it's like 5 to 10. Or something like that, I don't know where the threshold is or how much stuff is causing bottlenecks within the departments.
I think this is movement so that in the future. We don't approach that necessarily that bottleneck issue, but Tara, can you better answer that?
I would say $5,000 is a little low for department heads. Like, I mean, if I was thinking about the city hall remodel, right? Like I couldn't have even signed that one as a department head. Like Jackie probably technically had to come to Mark to get her carpet redone.
She did.
Cause I mean, like to me, things are costing so much more that, I mean, I think 5,000 is a really low. Like his bleachers were 15. So, I mean, it's just bleachers.
Well, and of course, slab of concrete for the bleacher.
Right, and that's another contract, right? So it would be nice if it wasn't $5,000.
So all these things that you're allowed to spend on, they've got to be budgeted items, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Not just things out of the blue,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, we're not talking about stuff that staff's gonna come way out of left field and just go by.
Right.
I mean, if that was to occur, I think there would be additional accountability.
Yeah.
And significant accountability expected.
There'd be a lot more questions asked.
Yeah, if not law enforcement involved.
Mr. Mayor, what's your opinion on small incremental increase?
Well, like I said, I'd be comfortable with this staff, the way it's written, but, I just haven't, I'm reluctant to do it permanently, so. I think department heads, the 5,000 is a little ridiculous, like you said, so. Yeah, I mean, I'd be comfortable doubling it for department heads to 10. But I just.
And I respect what you're saying, Pete, but. And maybe I'll go down in flames for saying this, but, you know, we've spent a lot of time as a staff, and I've spent a lot of time as your city manager for almost the last 3 years, making sure that the ship is heading in the right direction. And, you know, over the last almost 7 years, I've paid for an awful lot of sins of people that have come before me. And I'm hoping that even as we look to the future, because I know that I'm not going to be here forever, but the council, and I hope I have at least a little something to do with whoever replaces me as city manager in the future. And that they will be able to earn your trust as much as I believe that I have. So while it appears to be a permanent fix, it doesn't have to be. Because all it takes is one council meeting, for council to come together, direct staff, and for this to change once again. But I do, once again, I respect your opinions and I respect your decision.
And I mean, again, if you promise to stay forever.
Just like you will, right?
Yeah, just like I will. Well, let me take that back. If you and the rest of the staff promise to stay forever.
They're already threatening me about certain members.
Yeah,
They're just telling you that.
I mean,
You're right.
I just voiced my opinion.
I could test them every time.
I just voiced my opinion. It's up to, there's 7 of us, so. And I don't have veto power, because otherwise I would.
Well, I kind of agree with Pete. You can't really see the devil inside a person until it's known. As of right now, I'm happy with the one that we have, city manager we have, but we don't know what we're gonna get in the future. And if we can spend another 5-10 minutes discussing at a council meeting a significant purchase, so be it. I think we owe it to the citizens that we represent to be held to a higher standard and for fiscal responsibility as well. So in my opinion, I think the limits should stay where they are, minus the staff, the department heads. I do think, yeah, 25,000 is, I think, more than enough. I would say even 15, because at 25,000, you're talking a significant amount of work being done. And I think at that point, yeah, I think council should be made aware of what's going on.
It'd be Mark.
Mark, but yes, but I do think that, yes, the 100,000, no, 15 to 25,000 is.
So this came up couple months ago, right? And it came up at the intersection. Cause I remember going, dang, it's taking a long time to do the intersection. Cause we gave direction, then we had to approve moving the money. Then we had to approve signing something else, and then we had to approve signing the contract. And I was like, yo, should we just make this and line it up here? And I was all for it. And then I had discussions with other people at the table. And they talked me back a little bit. And so, but I remember the conversation was, it's not yet, it wasn't an issue yet. And so with that, just as fast as we could potentially go through and revoke it in the future, we can reenact this just as fast. And I think looking at it from the chance of reenacting or, you know, increasing it, Mark, chief, city manager. If you come and say it's become an issue, I think with the current relationship, it would be easier to add it than potentially with an entire new group at the table and a new city manager later trying to take it away. I agree, $5,000 doesn't buy anything anymore. I was still shocked at what the bids for my building came in at. So again, I would support 10, maybe 15, because in the end, the math in my brain, which maybe this isn't the way I look at it, is we're essentially signing up for. Right now, we're signed up for a $50,000 mistake. Right? There can be one $50,000 mistake before we go, hey, we're changing the rules. If we do this. And chances are there wouldn't be one under the current administration. But we're essentially signing up saying that we believe we can handle a $100,000 mistake before we fix it. I think is kind of what Pete's getting at. And so I would support that part. I would support the cleanup. And I will absolutely support you the first time you show up and say it's now an issue. That's where I'm at with it. For whatever the heck that's worth.
Okay.
Brad.
Okay, work. We can.
Can we sleep on this for another meeting
You can make a motion to move it to the next.
without any changes?
Yeah, that's
So I
right.
think we need to,
Why don't we,
I think we need to clean up the
why don't we do that?
I think we're kind of.
$50,000. And we're all okay with cleaning up the
Yeah.
$30,000. Double check or whatever. Should be at least be 50. That's what we're agreeing on.
So we can continue this until the September meeting. The whole thing, actually.
You want a motion?
Yeah, let's have a motion to continue it if you.
I move to table this discussion, bring it back at September meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilor Hopper, second by Councilor Storgat to move this to the next meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilor Astoria,
Aye.
Councilor Donahue,
Aye.
Councilor Ott,
Aye.
Councilor Powell,
Aye.
Councilor Eater,
Aye.
Councilor Hooker,
Aye.
Mayor Wall.
Aye. Okay. The next item is groundwater monitoring contract. And this over to City Manager Mark Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as it says here in the CAF, DEQ requires our wastewater facility to follow an action plan for monitoring the groundwater around the facility for contamination. The two engineer of record companies do not provide this service. SCS will create an action plan and then follow that plan by sampling and testing water from the 6 wells around the lagoons. The contract will last 2 years with 2 additional renewal terms of 2 years each available if mutually agreed upon, making the value of this contract $65,000. It is staff's recommendation to authorize me to sign a contract that exceeds my $50,000.
I mean, that should come up so fast after that.
No, we just said this wasn't an issue.
Okay,
And we'll convene the city council and the contract review board, just so we're all on board, that this is a joint meeting.
so this is a contract review board too, I guess, okay. Yeah, questions from council?
I have 2. One is so this is something that is this a new requirement or something we've been doing? Or it's okay to be honest, is this a requirement we haven't been doing?
Little of both. So I was reading through the permit out there and we've been doing it every other year. As I was reading, I found out we're supposed to be doing it every year.
Okay, so this expense is partially budgeted.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question is are we starting from 0 or are we carrying something in the budget already to cover some of this?
Yeah, some
of it, okay.
But now, if you guys pass it, we'll have them on contract and they'll be here every year for that.
Yeah, and that 65 years is over the life of the contract, 6 years.
Totally follow that.
Yeah.
Last question, this is just because I'm nosy. How did we come upon SCS? Were they recommended by one of our city engineers?
No, word of mouth. Daniel Schaefer used them at Marion County.
At Marion County, okay. So they're partially budgeted and they come referred. Those are my 2 questions.
Yeah, they're known in the industry. One of the top dogs.
Any other questions, council?
Yeah, so any repairs or needed items need to be put in place. Are they gonna be doing it or are we gonna do the work? Piping or any tubing?
Well, I think we'd have to make the repairs or contract it out. I don't know. I think they're just monitoring just to see, for E. coli and just leaching of this thing.
And they're gonna submit the report to DEQ or to you first, and then you report it in the DMR.
They do it all.
Okay.
Including the lab work. So this is including lab work, the price of that.
So there's no additional testing or fees, it's a one-stop shop, huh?
Yep.
So is city staff gonna grab the sampling, or are they gonna actually be out here physically getting the samples?
They are.
Yeah.
So if you go all the way to exhibit A, Tony, halfway down, you got scope of work.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm there on it, give you all that.
Okay. Other questions?
I'll move and request Mark Daniel, city manager, to sign the contract with SCS engineers.
Did we have to
Oh, yeah.
Close.
contract review? We have to actually open it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah, like, you can take the voting as both, or I can't remember how it goes, but we just have to be in consensus, something that it's a joint meeting, so however that happens.
Typically, Mayor Wall would have said the contract review board is now convened.
Okay. There you
There we go.
I heard it.
Yeah,
go.
Just want to make sure we're on the other.
I kind of,
Yep, exactly.
I didn't mention it, but okay, so. So who has to approve this? The council or the contract review
The
board?
joint meeting of the council and.
Joint meeting,
Mhm.
that's what I thought. Okay,
So within this joint meeting, I make a motion. And request Mark Daniel, city manager, to sign the contract with SCS Engineers.
okay. Motion by Counselor File, second by Counselor Ofer. To request Mark Daniel, city manager, to sign the contract with SCS Engineers on behalf of the contract review board and the city council. Roll call, please.
Counselor Hooper. Aye. Counselor Astoria.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Ott.
Aye.
Counselor Powell.
Aye.
Counselor Eater.
I
Mayor Wall.
Aye. Okay.
I have a request.
Yes.
So can we rearrange the agenda because I have 2 irrigation systems to start before dark? So could we move up honoring him tonight and then I will leave,
Well, we certainly can.
if that's okay?
So in lieu of the city manager's report, our city manager has a birthday today. And we have
25th birthday?
council president,
For I don't know how many times.
council president wants to give him a gift.
I'd like to see somebody pitched in, but they did.
Our council president didn't give prior notification.
You gotta open it before I go.
We have,
That's very kind.
we have to
Thank you.
vote on over 50,000.
It's one of those cheesy gold watches that you get for 5 years of service.
This is great because I'm out.
Ray, would you also like a cupcake before you go and honor?
I'll take one.
Okay. Yes, and we have.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Alan had a little doing, I didn't know what flavor you chew, but he yelled me out.
I try not to, but
I seen him sharing gum with him, that's why I had to ask Alan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Okay, thank you. Unless somebody wants to go do my job, I'll stay.
I don't think you want me doing it, Rick.
But I won't do it right.
Yeah, I don't think he wants me to touch that one, so I gotta take that one.
Okay. There's a little hole over there.
You got it.
Night, guys.
Right. Okay. Now, back in
All right,
order, city manager report.
I'll try and make it short.
Okay,
I do have our, water master plan, it was provided by, our engineer. It is 157 pages. And, I'm already learning a lot, but it's gonna take some time, to get through before I give Matt it looks good and no changes. So, Alan's gonna look at it too. So, it's a lot of reading and, so it's gonna take a little time and just want to make sure that you guys all know that our engineer's been on it and I have a draft and I've already explained to him that I definitely want to, once we're happy with it, we want to bring it to council and we want to have a work session. We make sure that you're happy with it. I don't want DEQ or anybody else out there in the world to have it until council is satisfied with it and we're all good to go. So this will be a several month process. I hope to be able to get through it in a couple weeks, but I'm also not going to fall asleep in my chair. I actually want to read it and absorb as much as I possibly can and come up with good questions as I find them. So. Tomorrow night is National Night Out in the Glock Block, so right out here. Tony?
I got a text from Mr. Hope, asking how many Frankfurters we'll need, so I was gonna call him after the meeting, so
Okay, well,
we'll discuss afterwards, but just a heads up. He
Yeah.
texted me, so.
probably at least 300.
All right.
so tomorrow night is National Night Out between 6 and 8 p.m. in the Dock Block. Been advertised by the Radar Reader trailers. And it's been advertised on social media and everything else. Hopefully the temperature is a little lower. So I'm anticipating good attendance tomorrow night. So I'm hoping we run out of hot dogs. But there are a number of sponsors. This has been a collaboration between the chamber and Discover Mount Angel and the police department and local businesses, to include Pepsi and a number of others that I'm going to forget off the top of my head. But it's been really kind of cool to see everybody come together and do this, because that is in fact what it's all about. Police and community, community and police. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. You're all welcome to come. So tonight, actually this afternoon, 4 o'clock, I had a meeting with Oktoberfest. It's our pre-Oktoberfest meeting. There really weren't any major issues that we discussed. However, you may notice on Garfield Street, both on the north side and on the south side, they've been replacing all of the old fashioned lights that they've had up. So this year during the festival, we will have white bright light every block. So you won't go from block to block and experience white, yellow, brown, and a lot of spaces without lights. In fact, they want to replace the large bulb light on top of the senior center with a nice big bright LED light, which I approve. So we'll be moving ahead with that. PG actually did that for them last week. They're actually working on a number of other things, including special Wi-Fi for the vendors and the food booths. We'll see whether or not that password stays secure. But they have also said that there's supposed to be an Xfinity guy actually sitting in the vehicle that is purveying all this Wi-Fi out, who's going to monitor internet traffic. And so if kids are playing games or perusing Facebook or doing things other than point of sale, they're going to boot them off of the internet. So we'll see what happens. In our preparations for Oktoberfest on the police side, we are finding it very difficult to get people to come here on their off time and become city employees, quasi-city employees, to police the festival. So that kind of moved my schedule up just a little bit. I've been working with our attorneys and another agency to come up with an IGA so that I can specifically work with certain agencies to ask them to send people here on their overtime dimes and then send us a bill, and we will send that bill obviously to Oktoberfest and pass that along. So I'm working out some of those IGAs right now. We will likely sign IGAs, don't know for sure, but with Hubbard, with Woodburn, with Kaiser, Salem, maybe Marion County, I'm not sure, but Silverton for sure. And we'll see about some of the agencies on the south end of the county.
Does OSP normally send theirs out here too as well, or?
So they will come to participate in actual, the foot patrol that we do. What they do is they usually do some type of high visibility enforcement detail. Last year, of course, everybody knows that the Pendleton Roundup is the same time as Oktoberfest. So their unit that they have, they ripped in half and they sent half to Pendleton and half to Mount Angel. So I haven't spoken with OSP yet because they keep changing titles and people within those titles in Salem. So I hope to be able to get some information about OSP this week. One of the other plans that I have to review on my computer is from ODOT, and that's in regards to the ADA ramps that we're going to be getting replaced. 30 some ramps throughout town, and then 3 high visibility crossings, pedestrian crossings on North Main Street. It's really cool. Never before has ODOT had 2 separate divisions actually working together and moving $1 million from one division into another division to make this type of project happen. So the money's already there. I'm sure you've all seen ODOT is got major budgetary shortfalls This money is already there, it already exists, they can't take it away. It's gonna happen, and so we're just going through the final process to approve the plans. And then they'll get us on the schedule and we'll see what happens.
Is that just down Main Street?
Yes. Yep, just down on Highway 240. Yep. Counselor Hill, sorry.
So the high visibility crossings, are we talking the same as what the school got with just the large blocks, or are we talking the island push button?
We're talking the
Blinky
push button with the
lights.
blinky lights and signs and the whole 9 yards.
Okay, and I think I know where two of them are, but can you clarify where they're going?
Yeah, so one will be up at, I believe, and if I'm wrong, it's only because there's just so much. So one is going to be, they're gonna be reworking the crosswalk basically at the Markhams, if you will. East and West Markham, that crosswalk is gonna look significantly different. And so there will be significant changes on how kids cross the street there.
So they're not gonna cross right between the two roads anymore? Hopefully not.
We'll see how it ends up as a final thing. There's also some plans to move bicycles off North Main and push them over onto Garfield Street. So we'll see what we can do to, get some of that bicycle traffic off and get them onto Garfield and move them into the downtown core area. Where, our local businesses want to be rather bicycle friendly, and we've got a lot of bike tour groups, so get them off the highway just a little bit and then to where some of the other businesses are, like the restaurants, all that, so that'd be kind of cool. But, so any answer to your question, East and West Markham, and then I think, I'm not convinced that it's gonna be at Taylor Street, but it very well could be Taylor, that crossing over to, where the big scoop's gonna be. It's either there or Palmer Street, but I can't remember which intersection for sure, and then, College.
Will this all be done before O-Fest or no? Probably not.
This will probably begin sometime within the next 1.5 to 2 years.
I watched them do this in Aurora. And they had to redo the ramps, I think, twice. Because they messed up on them, and so it took like 3 years for them to complete that project.
And it's interesting, ODOT has a great memory, when we just did the overlay project, Don Monroe over there. The contractor that was doing that project only had to do the ADA ramps once, with the exception of when they put the ramp in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
So I'm hoping they go right the first time.
They do inspect it, obviously, it also is twice, but it may always takes longer.
And then the last thing I'll mention, and I'll steal a little bit of Tara's thunder. On Wednesday, Tara Allen and I will be attending the Marion County Commissioners meeting regarding the HUD action plan and our formal request for $500,000 for the Railroad Avenue rehabilitation project. And so this is, I believe, the nail in the top of whatever you want to call it, giving us $500,000 for that project. So we are currently working on $500,000 from the county. I'm working on $500,000 from Senators Wyden and Kennedy, or Wyden and Merkley. And then another $250,000 that Alan just submitted for ODOT. So if we're truly successful with all of them, then there's no reason that we shouldn't, because we're already getting preliminary messages back. We should be getting, $1.25 million to rehabilitate Railroad Avenue all the way from West Markham to Church Street, which will be an amazing thing. And with that, yeah, it's my birthday and I'm done.
You can cry if you want to.
Yeah,
I probably will.
He did that in his.
Like
15 minutes.
apparently we're not gonna sing happy birthday.
And that's fine, thanks. Good.
Okay. Okay, next, Counselor,
Jackie would do it for you if she was here.
yeah, she would lead us in song.
Would.
Counselor Hopper, what do you have?
I don't know.
Okay. Counselor Fowl?
I got a few things. First one. This is becoming a common theme and I wanna take a moment to appreciate city staff. On finding these things like the homestay lodging program that just came before us and the realizing we weren't in adherence to the DEQ stuff, so. I appreciate finding these issues and or mistakes and willingly bringing them up and letting us remedy them, so just a side note. What is the, do we have something that we'll be sending out soon? I just know schools around the corner, application for a new student counselor. Is that something that we can round up and get into the hands of Ms. Brendan up at high school to potentially get some candidates lined up? I see Colby feverishly taking notes.
No, I was like, don't look at me.
I have applications for student council. I also have the bylaws and all that in there. So all that has already been done previously. We just have to figure out a way to get it into the hands of the school, which we've had trouble with in the past with them promoting that program for us. And it could be dependent on who was in the driver's seat at the time. But we do need to get that. I did have one student interested who already has an application in her hand. But I just need direction on who to get it to and how to get it.
If you got me a couple of copies, I think I could probably infiltrate the school district and get it where it needs to be.
I've already got it updated for this year, so.
Perfect. Let me know when I can come pick up a couple copies.
Infiltrator.
Couple status updates I'm looking for. Have we heard anything else out of the county as far as the deceleration zone on West Markham?
Nope.
Okay. That came up in conversation with a couple of families. And then we bought the speed signs and we determined where they are going to go.
So, yeah, where I'd like to place them.
Yeah.
One on West Markham, one on East Markham, and one or. So I'm kind of torn. So I really would like to put one on East Markham, slow people down coming into the school zone.
Yep.
From outside. South Main, coming into town by the shelter. And all those houses there. And then we talked about Taylor Street, heading towards the back side of the elementary school. And then we've also talked about West Marvin, so we may just buy another one and put out a fourth, so.
Are these the radar signs or whatever?
Well, they're the same signs as we installed up here on East College Street.
They just clamp on or they got buried.
Yeah, we put them up on a pole.
Yeah.
They got a.
On its own separate pole.
Yeah, they got, it's charged.
Yeah.
Solar things.
They can be moved, but it's a significant thing to move.
Okay, because that was the follow-up question is could they get one of those speed signs on West Markham prior to the corner? And obviously, if we got the deceleration zone, potentially it could go.
I'm only gonna put them in the city.
Okay. Anything outside of that, would it be requested through Mary?
That is correct.
Got it. I got asked about the Monroe Street painting and signs. I assume that's happening soon.
Well, I know, but it's in the city.
Right.
Sorry, can you ask the question again?
Oh, I assume we're very close to doing the painting on Monroe and signs.
Yeah, we're very close.
Okay.
I've contacted all the businesses, so they're all aware of it.
Perfect. So it'll probably happen this month and be done and dry before Oktoberfest.
It'll likely happen within the next week.
Fantastic. And then I was happy to see in the blue sheet, all the updates coming to Ebner. And I assume we're working on that as time allows. And there was one other thing I'd like to add to the list. And that is an additional sprinkler head behind home plate. Please. it has become glaringly apparent where we are not getting coverage.
Okay. Counselor Storga.
I got nothing.
One thing, I know we just bought that property, it's impossible in City Hall. Is it time to start preparing for any kind of design or discussion about the new City Hall?
Yes, yeah, it is. And I've been working with a couple different communities, looking at their new buildings and have some great ideas. And so I'm hoping that after Oktoberfest, we can begin in earnest.
Yay. Okay, is that all?
Funny that you brought that up, because that's what I was gonna bring up too. What are we doing with that property? When are we gonna start talking about it? But also, yay, all of the curbs. Love all the bright yellow curbs. Thank you for getting that done. My favorite thing.
City
Then we'll
Hall
see
is
how that-
turned about some.
Except for all the,
Yeah, I noticed a bunch of parking spots with this.
parking spots missing and people just parking in those yellow zones anyway.
Yeah.
And people that are parked near them that don't need to be touching them, I feel like a couple of people in town who purposely park in them know that they're parking in them.
Then they accept the responsibility that comes along with being illegally parked. And the city does not have responsibility for instructing our public where it's illegal to park.
Love them. I think it's great. I think it'll be a huge, hopefully be a huge difference, especially on my intersection during Oktoberfest, because there's always, it's just sketchy there with the tractors going by and people trying to drive through town that don't know where they're going, and the handicap parking, just a lot of seniors, whatever. It's that intersection gets a little clustered, so I'm hoping that all of that extra yellow is helpful.
Yeah, we'll have extra yellow pieces of paper to put on vehicles should they decide to park when they're not allowed.
Sticker strip in front of my house. Thank you. That's all I had.
I am,
Yeah.
okay. Mayor, I just have a couple of things. I'd like to remind everyone that filing deadline for elective office in the city of Mount Angel is, I make sure I'm right, August 27th, correct, Colby?
That is correct. August 27th is the last day at 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m.
Next time, Councilor Reader.
Now, he's midterm, he's good. So, that, and then I'm just pleased, this year that, various entities, groups are working together on National Night Out. Because some of that's been lacking. Leave it at that, but it's good to see people working together. And I think you're right. I think there's gonna be a lot of people here, so anyway. And that's all I have. So with that, we are adjourned.